ለመማር ወደ ትምህርት ተቋም መሄድ ግድ አይደለም። ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
ራሳችሁን ከኮሮና ቫይረስ ወረርሽኝ እየጠበቃችሁ በቤታችሁ ወይም በተመቻችሁ ቦታ በኢንተርኔት አማካኝነት በኦንላይን ትምህርታችሁን መከታተል ትችላላችሁ።
ካናዳ ከሚገኘው ኢንተርናሽናል ኤር ትራንስፖርት አሶሲዬሽን አያታና ከእንግሊዙ ኢንስቲትዩት ኦፍ ኮመርሻል ማኔጅመንት ICM ጋር በመተባበር የሚሰጡ ትምህርቶችን ተከታትላችሁ በ6 ወር ጊዜ በዓለም አቀፍ ደረጃ ተቀባይነት ያለውን የስልጠና ማስረጃ ባለቤት መሆን ይቻላል።
ልምድ ባላቸው መምህራን እየተማራችሁ ጥያቄና መልስ የክፍል ስራዎች ፈተና መፈተን ክፍል ውስጥ እንዳላችሁት አይነት በኦንላይን ባላችሁበት ቦታ ከናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ
እንዴት ናችሁ? Sorry for the inconvenience. There's some inconvenience. Anyways, we try to solve the problem. I hope we have been discussed different issues in market. Entrepreneurship. So there are different marketing mixes. We have been discussed the product, the price, the distribution channel, and the promotion. I hope we have been discussed. And the today's session is, did we discuss the concept of service? Did we? Anyone? Who?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we did.
Okay. Okay. I think this is the concept of customer. So the next topic, I think. So as we have seen, what's service and what's customer handling. So to refresh the previous discussion, so can you mention what's service? What's the difference between goods and services? What the major difference? Anyone who can help me to remember the major difference between goods and services?
Goods are tangible part of, they are tangible,
Product.
but
Okay.
products, but services non-tangible. And when we purchase a goods or products, we can express our satisfaction, or we can measure them.
Okay,
Objectively,
objectively you can measure.
But service, they can't be measured objectively.
Okay, it is subjective. So service is different from goods in terms of tangibility. Since goods are tangible, services are intangible, and services are inseparable. This is one of the major characteristics. The production and the consumption is simultaneous. So the presence of customer is mandatory in service operation. And the other major characteristics of service that makes different from a goods is it could be perishable. You can't inventorize the service. So it will perish, or it will not inventorized for a long period. It's used or consumed while it is produced. So in this case, it requires a variable input. One of the characteristics of service is variability, which means it requires a variety input, according to the customer's need. It depends on the customer's need, or it depends on the customer's situation. So in this case, service is, different from goods in terms of, these factors. So let's proceed to the concept of customer. As we have discussed earlier, for any business, the ultimate objectives of any business is profit making. So without customer, so can any organization produce a profit? Can you make any profit without having a customer? Can we? Anyone?
Can't.
Yeah, we can't, because customer is the backbone of any organization, the backbone. Whenever you produce, unless you are selling the product or the service to their customers, so it's impossible to generate a profit. So without generating a profit, so companies or any business organization cannot survive for a long period, even for a short period. So in this case, customer is fundamental in any business. So in this case, what's customer mean? What's customer? In your understanding, what do you understand? So it's better to be, two-way. So tell me, what does mean customer?
Okay, can I go, Mr.?
Yeah.
Customer, there are like different type of customers. Like a salesperson can be a customer, and there's a direct contact with citizens. So there are different ways you can approach a customer. An investor can be a customer too for your product.
Yeah.
Can I answer?
I think that those are.
Okay.
Well, customer means last time we tried to say about the difference between product and service. Then if there is a product and service, there should be a buyer, or there should be someone who's going to buy those products or services. That we call it a customer.
Customer. So in this case, customer is anyone, any person, any organization that buy your product or a service. So in this case, customer can be either internal or external, or it could be final consumer or industrial consumer. It could be. There are two types of customer. So we can classify the customer, internal customer or external customer. This internal customer is someone who works for that organization may use the products. So the member of the organization is an internal customer, and someone purposely come to the organization or that firm to purchase the product or the service is external. Customer came from outside is external customer. So this either internal or external customers could be a person, or it could be a group of individuals, or it could be an organization. So when we see external customer, so this external customer use the product or a service for personal consumption or for further process, or just purchasing the product for reselling purpose. So in this case, we can classify customer as internal or external. What is the most important thing is, we have to satisfy our customers, either they are internal or external. Our research proved that, dissatisfied customers will never again visit the organization. 90% of dissatisfied customers will never back to those organizations. 90%. or different research prove that 91% or 92% of dissatisfied customers will never again visit that organization for service or for goods. So in this case, as you're dissatisfied, one, as a result of different factors, sometimes poor quality may dissatisfy customers, or sometimes poor customer handling activity or strategy. There are different strategies that or different activities that dissatisfies customers. So in this case, dissatisfied customers will leave the organization for good, 90%. So it's difficult to switch those customers from using the other products. So in this case, once you understood what does it mean customer, it's either internal or external, regardless of their classification. So our activity, requires, we have to work towards satisfying customer in terms of quality customer service delivery, or sometimes we have to produce superior product quality. So there are different reasons that makes customers dissatisfied. So in this case, we have to develop strategic activities for quality customer handling or quality service for customers. So in this case, here are different activities we have to do to improve the customer handling or customer service quality. So in this case, organizations or any business organization should identify important strategic activities. These important strategic activities are to ensure consistent, efficient, and excellent customer service delivery. Nowadays, in different countries, you have to know customer is invaluable resource of the organization, invaluable. It's difficult to determine the value of the customer. So customer is invaluable asset. Invaluable means it's difficult to determine the value. So can you determine the value of one customer? Can you? Anyone who determine the value of one customer for one organization? That's different research, identified. It's difficult to identify the real value of a customer, since customer provides, a lifetime customer or purchasing. Satisfied customers sometimes purchase for a long period of time, or this customer would become a lifetime customer. So how many products you are going to sell for a customers in lifetime? And as a result of the customer, so there are other customers who will join your business because of referral strategy, word of mouth promotional strategy. Customers on behalf of the organization will promote their organization's product. So in this case, customers provide a lifetime purchase in terms of value, monetary value, and attract more customers using different promotional techniques. So in this case, it's difficult to determine the customer's value. So in this case, customer is invaluable assets of the organization, invaluable asset. So this invaluable asset may be lost because of different reasons. One of the reasons is poor quality customer service delivery. If the delivery process is poor, customers will become dissatisfied and they will never again back to your organization. So this is the cost of the organization. So to avoid this, So we have to develop the following, or we have to do the following specific activities in a specific area. So in this case, we have to establish a clear customer service strategy. So as a business organization, so we have to establish a clear customer service strategy. How we are going to serve our customer. So we have to put strategy. This strategy is a long-term strategy, or this known as strategic activities. Strategic in a sense, this is a long-term ways of satisfying customers. So the other activity we have to do to maintain existing customer and to attract more new customers. So we have to ensure that correct people are in place. Now, in front office, I hope maybe familiar with what's front office. This front office staffs are responsible in handling the customers. They are responsible. So we have to put the right or the correct people in the right place, with regard to skill, delivery, or personal services. In terms of skill and personal skills towards customer handling. Unless we have to put the right people in the right place, it's difficult to maintain customer and attract more customers. So the other is establishing a clear material service delivery process. We have to establish a clear material delivery service process. We have to prepare the correct process. Since in production system, there is an input, and this input combined and processed in a operational process, and finally there would be an output. This output could be either product or it could be a service. So in this case, unless we put the correct quality material or the appropriate material, so the final output may not be quality. So poor quality is one of the factors that dissatisfies customers. So in this case, we have to establish a clear material service delivery process. So the delivery process should be clear. And improving the terms of the process improvement, quality control, and recovery continuously. So we have to develop in business, the management philosophy or the philosophy of the organization. Sometimes it could be total quality management. Total quality management, we have to control the quality of the input, the quality of the process, and finally the quality of the output. So if there is some discontinuous control either in process or in input or an output, so customer may not be satisfied. So in this case, we have to put the management philosophy or total quality management philosophy. This philosophy indicates the process or the quality should be monitored or controlled starting from the input up to the output. Let me give you one example. ለምሳሌ አንድ ሬስቶራንት ውስጥ ጥሩ አስተናጋጅ ቢኖራችሁ, which indicates a clear or a correct people in the correct place. ጥሩ አስተናጋጅ በደንብ ሊያስተናግዳችሁ የሚችል ጥሩ ሼፍ ብትቀጥሩ፣ ይሄ ማለት ኢንፑቱ ላይ ማለት ነው። ጥሩ ሼፍ ብትቀጥሩ መጨረሻ ላይ ታይሚንጉን ጠብቆ እንቁላሉ በስንት ደቂቃ በስሎ ለምሳሌ ምግብ የምታዙ ቢሆን ማለት ነው ቁርስ ስታዙ ለምሳሌ እንቁላል ሊመጣላችሁ እንቁላል ብታዙ ጥሩ አስተናጋጅ ቢኖራችሁ ጥሩ ሼፍ ቢኖራችሁ እና ማቴሪያሉን በትክክል ካልተቆጣጠራችሁት ይሄ ማለት የተበላሸ እንቁላል ብትሰጡት ለሼፍ ምንም ሊያደርገው አይችልም ማለት ነው ስለዚህ ሼፉንም አስተናጋጇንም appropriate የሆነ ማስተናገጃ ቦታ ቢኖራችሁም እንቁላሉ የተበላሸ እስከሆነ ድረስ የደንበኛውን እርካታ ልታመጡ አትችሉም ማለት ነው ስለዚህ we have to improve or we have to implement total quality management philosophy which means starting from or improving the process improving the input improving the quality of the output so in this case so we have to improve in terms of process in terms of output in terms of input and we have to monitor we have to implement quality control techniques and there must be participatory management management should participate in the development of quality customer service so this is some of the important strategic activities to improve the quality of our service so improving the quality of service will bring customer satisfaction so satisfied customers remain loyal for a long period of time so this remaining loyal or loyal customer is invaluable assets of the organization invaluable assets so in this case we have to develop customer handling mechanism to increase the satisfactions of customer so what does mean satisfaction what does mean dissatisfaction I hope we have been discussed the core concepts of marketing and marketing section of this course so what does mean satisfaction can you define what satisfaction mean
I think satisfaction is a good feedback satisfaction I think it's a good feedback from customers which uses our products or services
so anyone what satisfaction are you satisfied with the product you are using
Satisfaction is what you demand being supplied to you, or even sometimes more that you didn't expect.
Okay, let me give you one example. You may expect something. You may expect something from the product. So if the value of the product exceed your expectation, so what do you feel? Disappointment or enlightenment? If your expectation, there is some expectation when you purchase a product or a service, you expect something. So once you purchase the product, expecting something. So if the real value of the product exceeds your expectation, so what do you feel?
Like how I didn't understand the question. Like if it exceeds, like in value, in price, or in like quality of the product.
Value, you may expect something. Your expectation is in terms of the benefit, either psychological benefit
the quality,
or
the
quality and so on. So you may expect something from the product. So if that expectation and the product value, you know, you expect, sometimes you purchase a product like shoe, you are using a shoe, and you may expect,
Yes.
in terms of you know, durability. Sometimes, you know, quality is measured. One of the dimensions of quality is durability, or it could be comfort.
Yes.
So if you expect the shoe serves for 1 year, unfortunately,
Yes.
if the shoe serves 2 years or more than that, which is more than your expectation, so what do you feel? You know, sometimes people may disappoint or sometimes delighted. So what do you feel?
Personally, I feel delighted because it shows that the thing that the product that I purchased more than I expected.
So
So
that
that
delighted
satisfies
or
me.
enlightenment is,
Yes.
yeah, that's satisfaction.
Okay.
So in this case, you know, people satisfied with the product if, you know, it exceed their expectation. The real value of the product exceed the cost of the product, the cost. So in this case, you know, satisfaction means a feeling of, you know, enlightenment. Dissatisfaction is the opposite of that one, which is disappointment of, or, you know, you may disappointed, you know, by the product purchased. Sometimes your expectation is higher than the real value. So in this case, you may feel which is bad. So that is known as, you know, dissatisfaction. So in this case, customers may be satisfied or satisfied with your activity. So in this case, we have to set, you know, different customer handling techniques to bring, you know, customer satisfaction. So the successful organizations are, you know, working hard towards customer handling and customer satisfaction. So in this case, you know, satisfied customers, you know, will bring additional customers, and, you know, they will provide a lifetime supply of money. So in this case, customer handling and satisfaction is a key for successful organization. Simply a key. You know, if you lost the key, so no more successfulness, no more success. So in this case, we have to work towards bringing customer satisfaction, since customer is the backbone of any organization, the backbone. So managers and employees, or managers and employees should work hand in hand to improve their service delivery program. You know, service delivery program is important to bring, you know, customer satisfaction. So in this case, existing customers must be satisfied with the existing service, or existing customers are also the means of potential customers. Why or how? Existing customer is a means of, you know, other customers or potential customers, since satisfied customers can attract more. So there are different reasons why customers are dissatisfied. As we mentioned earlier, you know, poor delivery service is one of the reasons. Poor quality of the product is the reason why companies are, you know, losing their customers. So in this case, we have to mention this major reason. And as a company, so we have to retain customers or retain existing customer. So in addition to attracting, potential customers. So there are different, promotional techniques to attract more customers. And instead of making advertisements to attract more customers, so first we have to maintain existing customers. Since this retaining existing customer is, the potential or the means for attracting other customers. One of the major effective promotional technique is word of mouth. Word of mouth means simply our customer gospel, potential customers, or attract or, convince potential customers to purchase a new product, to purchase, product which is, purchased by themselves. So in this case, there are different, reasons why customers are dissatisfied. One of the major reasons is a poor service. Poor service. So, poor service. There are customer handling techniques. Providing a poor service for our customer. Providing poor quality products or poor quality service. Or sometimes, the front office staff of your organization shows rude behavior, rude behavior, bad behavior towards our customer. እስኪ ምናልባት የሆነ ፕሮዳክት ስትገዙ የሽያጭ ሰራተኞች ወይም ገንዘብ ስትከፍሉ ሊሆን ይችላል ጥሩ ያልሆነ ባህሪ ቢያሳያችሁ ምን አይነት ተመልሳችሁ እዛ ድርጅት መሄድ ታስባላችሁ? እስኪ ምንነግረኝ። ለምሳሌ የሆነ ምግብ ቤት ገባችሁ ምግቡ የሆነ ነገር ይጎድለዋል ፑር ኳሊቲ ነው ስለዚህ ያ ፑር ኳሊቲ እንዲስተካከል ብትጠይቁ እና ከበላህ ብላ ካልበላህ ጥለህ መሄድ ትችላለህ ሚል አይነት መልስ ቢሰጣችሁ ወደዛ ድርጅት ተመልሳችሁ የመሄድ ቴንደንሲያችሁ ምን ያህል ይሆናል? እስኪ ይነግረኝ ሆነስትሊ። ምናልባት የመጨረሻ ምርጫ አይደለም ከሆነ ልንሄድ እንችላለን ግን እስኪ አት ኖርማል ሰርከምስታንስ የሆነ ምግብ ቤት ሄዳችሁ ምግቡ አልጣፈጣችሁም which is poor quality አስተናጋጁ ምናልባት ቁጭ ካላችሁ በኋላ ለ10 ደቂቃ ለ15 ደቂቃ ጠብቃችሁ አጨብጭባችሁ ነው የጠራችሁት which is poor service ከዛ በኋላ ደግሞ መጥቶ ምንድነው የምትፈልገው ምናምን ብሎ ቢታዘዛችሁ ይቅርታ ጌታዬ ምን ልታዘዝ ሳይላችሁ ምን ፈልገው ነው ምናምን ቢላችሁና ጥሩ ያልሆነ ባህሪ ቢያሳያችሁ ወደዛ ድርጅት ተመልሳችሁ የሚሄድ ቴንደንሲያችሁ ምን ያህል ይሆናል? Tell me honestly.
ጭራሽ አንሄድ
ጭራሽ አትሄጂም እሺ ሌላስ?
Honestly, not only me, I'll tell my friends and people that I know not to go to that restaurant or cafe ever again.
Okay. ቢያንስ አንድ ሪሰርች አለ ነግራችኋለሁ እንደዚህ ተከፍቶ የወጣ ሰው ለስንት ሰው ሊናገር እንደሚችልና ሳቲስፋይድ ሆኖ የሄደ ሰው ደግሞ ለስንት ሰው ሊናገር እንደሚችል ምናልባት የማርኬቲንግ ተማሪ ካላችሁ ልነግሩት ይችላልላችሁ ሪሰርቹን አንብባችሁት ከሆነ ማለት ነውና አይደለም ተመልሶ ሊሄድ ማለት ነው አንድ ሰው እንደዚህ በእነዚህ ምክንያቶች ተመልሶ እዛ ቤት ተመልሶ አይደለም መሄድ ከቻለ ከ9 ሰው ያላነሰ ከ13 ሰው ያላነሰ ለሰው ይናገራል እዛ ቤት እንዳይሄዱ ማለት ነው ሪሰርቾች ነው ይሄንን ያደረጉት ፕሩቭ ያደረጉት ወደ 13 ሰው ማለት ነው የሚናገረው ወጥቶ ሳቲስፋይድ ሆናችሁ ብትወጡ ግን ማክሲመም የምትናገሩ ለሰው ሰው ነው ሪሰርቹ ነው እንግዲህ ያው ፕሩቭ ያደረገው እንግዲህ ያው ሲሰራ ታውቃላችሁ ብዙ ፓርቲሲፓንት ተሳትፎበት ነው ስለዚህ ለሶስት ሰው ብቻ ነው ስለዚህ አሁን ደንበኞችን ሳትስፋይድ ባረጉን ቁጥር አንድ ሰው ዲሳትስፋይድ ስናረግ ሌላ ተጨማሪ ፖቴንሻል 13 ደንበኛ ነው እናጣው ማለት ፖቴንሻል ግን አንድ ሰው ሳትስፋይድ ስናረግ ሬቱ በጣም ቀንሶ ለሶስት ሰው ሊናገር ይችላል ሶስት ሰው ይዞልን ይመጣል ማለት ነው ስለዚህ አሁን በጣም ኮስቲ የሚሆነው የትኛው ይሆናል ማለት ነው ዲሳትስፋይድ ማድረግ አንድ ሰው ብቻ አይደለም እናጣው ማለት ነው 14 ሰው እናጣለን ከሱ ጋር ስለዚህ we have to work towards improving customer service since the cost of dissatisfaction is higher than the benefit of satisfaction ስለዚህ በተቻለ መጠን እነዚህ ነገር እንዳንድ ድርጅት ሰርቪሳችን ማሻሻል ብንችል ፑር ኳሊቲ ማሻሻል ያው ፑር ኳሊቲ የራሱ የሆነ የማኔጅመንት ፊሎሶፊ ቶታል ኳሊቲ ማኔጅመንት ፊሎሶፊ እንጠቀማለን ይሄ ማለት ከኢንፑቱ ጀምሮ ፕሮሰሱን አውትፑቱን የሚቆጣጠርልን የኳሊቲ ኮንትሮል ሲስተም ሊኖረን ይገባል ማለት ነው ጥሩ ኳሊቲ ያለው ሮ ማቴሪያል ገዝተን ጥሩ ሼፍ ቀጥረን አስተናጋጁ ጥሩ ማይሆን ከሆነ ለምሳሌ ሼፉ ሰርቶ ሰጥቶት አስተናጋጁ በሰዓቱ ወስዶ የማይሰጠው ከሆነ ምናልባት ያ ተጠቃሚ በኳሊቲውም አይደለም በፕሮሰሱም አይደለም ዲሳትስፋይድ ነው the front office ላይ ባለ ሰው ብቻ ይሆናል ማለት ነው so we have to make sure that there must be high service quality or customer handling system and there must be a quality control system and we have to hire the right people in the right position so in this case we have to consider customers as an invaluable asset invaluable asset ታውቃላችሁ እስኪ ንገረኝ comparatively ምን ማለት ነው እስኪ invaluable asset አንድ ኦርጋናይዜሽን ውስጥ ወደ አራት አይነት አሴቶች አሉ material or there are different resources እንግዲህ material አለ human resource አለ financial resource አለ and there are also idea tangible asset intangible asset ያሉን እንላቸዋለን እንከፋፍላቸዋለንና invaluable asset ምን ማለት ለማለት ይመስላችኋል እስኪ መተኪያ የሌለው ሀብት እንደማለት ነው መተኪያ የሌለው so the value of one customer is infinite it's difficult to count it's not finite so since the value is infinite it's impossible to calculate impossible so this value includes sales to him or her in his or her lifetime you can't say in his lifetime so it's difficult to calculate the value generated from this individual or customers as well as generate for you through word of mouth so that's why in marketing philosophy the modern philosophy which is a relationship marketing philosophy the last philosophy or the 21st century philosophy so you have to develop a long-term relationship with your customer since your customer is your partner your partner is promoting your product on behalf of your organization so in this case you have to create a relationship marketing which is and long-term marketing. So the value generated from the customer is long life or lifetime sales and promotion in terms of on behalf of yourself. And there are also different benefits generated from that individuals. So in this case, when we think of a profit,
በትምህርት ከፍ ብሎ መብረር ይቻላል። ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ከከፍተኛ ትምህርት አግባብነትና ጥራት ኤጀንሲ ሙሉ ዕውቅናን ባገኘንባቸው በማስተርስ ዲግሪ MBA በስትራቴጂክ ማኔጅመንት፣ MBA በባንኪንግና ፋይናንስ፣ MBA በቢዝነስ ሊደርሺፕ፣ MBA በሪስክና ኢንሹራንስ፣ MSc በኢንተርናሽናል ትሬድና ኢኮኖሚክስ ዘርፎች በእውቀት ለመቅረጽ የበቁ ፕሮፌሰሮቻችን አረንጓዴ መብራታቸውን አብርተዋል። በነገራችን ላይ በኬንያ ሀገር ከሚገኙ ስመጥር ዩኒቨርሲቲዎች በሚመጡ ፕሮፌሰሮች የትኩረት መስክ ትምህርቶቹ መሰጠታቸው ልዩ ያደርገናል። በምርጥ የትምህርት ስርዓት የተገነባው ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ በመጀመሪያ ዲግሪ በአቪዬሽን ማኔጅመንት፣ በሆቴል ማኔጅመንት፣ በአካውንቲንግና ፋይናንስ፣ በማርኬቲንግ ማኔጅመንት አስተማማኝ ትምህርት ይገቢውና ራስዎንና ሀገሮን ይለውጡ። አድራሻ 22 አደባባይ ወደ ሾላ በሚወስደው መንገድ ላይ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ህልሞን እውን ያደርጋል።
So for this invaluable asset, so we have to minimize the complaints of the customer, the complaint. You know, the complaint, every single complaint should be treated as an opportunity to improve the quality of your product or service, to improve your weakness. We need, you know, some complaint. You know, customer maybe complain for your product or for your service. So their complaint trigger or encourage for improvement. So customer complaining or someone who complains for the product is a fair person. Sometimes customer may not complain, just they are living for good. So someone who complains for that poor quality or poor service or rude behavior, no, it requires some improvement. So to turn this customer dissatisfaction or discontent into an opportunity or an advantage. So in this case, based on their complaint, we try to, you know, improve their complaint area. So in this case, this is some of the research. The research shows 90% of customers who have major complaint decided they leave, never come back. 90%. እንግዲህ ያው ከ10 ሰው አንድ ሰው ነው የሚመለሰው ማለት ነው። አንድ ሰው ቅድም እንግዲህ ምናልባት እንዳላችሁ ሁላችንም አንመለስም የሚል ነገር አለው። ግን ያው ሪሰርች ፕሩቭ የሚያደርገው ምናልባት አሻሽሎ ይሆናል በሚል ሳቤ ሊሆን ይችላል። ቢያንስ 90% ማለት ከመቶ ሰው ውስጥ 91 ሰው አይመለስም፣ 9 ሰው ይመለሳል ማለት ነው። ግን if you solve the complaint as much as possible quickly, so 80% of, you know, the customer will return. So that's why customer complaint is an opportunity for a business organization. So quick complaint resolution drops customer defect or defection rate from 90 to 18%. ስለዚህ አሁን ወደ 82% መመለስ የምንችል ከሆነ በምን ምክንያት በኩዊክ ከስተመር
አረ እየተሰማ አይደለም። ሌሎቻችሁ ይሰማችኋል?
ማይሰማል?
ይሰማል።
እስኪ ስልክሽን አስተካክል። ማይሰማሽ ይሰማል?
ድጋሚ ሎግ ያርጉ ያስቸገራችሁ ይመጣል።
ኦኬ ድጋሚ ሎጊን አርጉ ነው የሚሉት። ቼክ አድርጉ። ስለዚህ ከ91% ወደ 82% መመለስ እንችላለን ይሄ ማለት እንግዲህ በኩዊክ ኮምፕሌን ሪዞሉሽን ቴክኒክ ካለ ለምሳሌ አንድ ደንበኛ ገብቶ dissatisfied ቢሆንና ኮምፕሌን ቢያቀርብ ያን ኮምፕሌን ወዲያው ይመልስ ሰው ካለ እዛ ላይ ወይም ሲስተም ዲቨሎፕ ካረግን እነዛን ደንበኞች እስከ 82% ወደ 18% ላንመልስ እንችላለን ግን እስከ 82% እንመልሳለን ማለት ነው So this is some of the research that shows customer handling is very important So there is no investment like investment in customer satisfaction ያው customer satisfaction ላይ የሚሰራ ኢንቨስትመንት ከሁሉም የኢንቨስትመንት አይነቶች የተሻለ ነው ማለት ነው since customer is invaluable asset so treatment of customer may incur a cost while you are treating a customer so you may incur a cost don't consider that cost is an expense it's an investment you know the difference between investment and expense and expense is the cost incurred but not recovered that's an expense and investment is spending some amount of money for a future benefit so costs related to customer satisfaction is not an expense it's an investment So in the customer benefit lies our benefits. So organizations first play or they have to align their benefit with the customer's benefits. So first we have to provide benefit for customers. So within the customer's benefit, so we can lie or we can align our benefits. So in this case, customer complaint reduction is very important to maintain and retain existing customers and to attract more customers. So therefore, organizations should start tracking the cost of customer dissatisfaction to convince their employees as well as their management. The cost of customer dissatisfaction is very high since losing one customer is very or it will incur huge amount of cost on the organization's future so in this case you have to take competitive advantage by maintaining customer for a long term than your competitor. You can maintain. So the last topics of this chapter could be place yourself in the customer's shoe. ምናልባት በሌሎች በደንበኞች ላይ የሚደረገው ባንተ ላይ እንዲደረግ የማትፈልገው ነገር ከሆነ ወይ በደንበኞች ላይ የሚደረገው ነገር ባንተ ላይ እንዲሆን የማትፈልግ ይሆናል ምናልባት እንግዲህ do unto your customer as you would have done unto you እና ምናልባት እንግዲህ በደንበኞች ቦታ ላይ ራሳችሁን አድርጋችሁ ማየት ምናልባት በደንበኞች ቦታ ስትሆኑ ለደንበኞች ለምሳሌ እንደው በቀላሉ ልንገራችሁና እኛ ሀገር ውስጥ ብዙ አንኤቲካል ቢዝነስ ፕራክቲስ አለ አንኤቲካል እንግዲህ ደንበኞችን ሁሌ ማርካት አለብን የደንበኞችን ኮምፕሌን ወይም ቅራ ምንድን ተቃውሞ የሚሆን ሁሌ ማስተናገድ ይኖርብናል ቶሎ መፍታት ይኖርብናል ይላልና ምናልባት ደንበኞችን የምንሰጣቸው ፕሮዳክት ይኖራል ያም ፕሮዳክት እንግዲህ ፑር ኳሊቲ ሊሆን ይችላል ሃይ ኳሊቲ ግን ለዛ ደንበኛ ይገባዋል ወይ የኛ ደንበኛ ከሆነ ለኛ ኢንቫሉብል አሴት ነው ስለዚህ ኢንቫሉብል አሴት ወይ መተኪያ የሌለውን ሀብታችን ደግሞ ማጣት አንፈልግም ስለዚህ እስኪ በደንበኞች ቦታ አርገን ራሳችን ለምሳሌ ለደንበኞች የምንሰጠውን ምግብ እኛ ብንበላውስ ለኛ ቢሆንስ ብሎ ማሰብ ማለት ነው ለምሳሌ እኛ ሀገር ውስጥ ብዙ አንቲካል ቢዝነስ ፕራክቲስ አለ በቅርብ የምታያቸው ፖሊስ ፕሮግራም ሊሆን ይችላል በምን ፕሮግራም የምታያቸው አሉና do you think that the company or that business organization put themselves in the shoe of their customer do you think that አርጓል ብላችሁ ታስባላችሁ place yourself in the customer's shoe ይላል ማንኛውም ሰርቪስ ስትሰጡ ወይም ፕሮዳክት ዴሊቨር ስታረጉ በደንበኞች ጫማ ውስጥ ሆናችሁ አይታችሁ ታውቃላችሁ ወይስ የኛ ድርጅቶች ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ ያሉ በዚህ በደንበኞች ጫማ ውስጥ ሆነው አይተውታል ብላችሁ ታስባላችሁ anyone
I don't think so ማለት ቢያስቡ ኖሮና ያንን ፕሮዳክት ስፔሻሊ ደግሞ ፉድ እና ቤቨሬጅ ላይ ነው እንደዚህ ነገር በጣም የሚስተዋለው ኢቭን ለሄልዝ ሳይድ ኢፌክት ያለው ሄልዝ ላይ የሚበላ ነገር ላይ ባድ ነገራት እየጨመሩ አይ ቲንክ ራሳቸው ላይ ቢሞክሩት ኖሮ እኔ ብበላውስ ብለው ሚሊዮን ሐሳብ ቢያስቡት ኖሮ ይሄን ነገር የሚያደርጉ አይመስለኝም እነሱ ጀስት ፎከስ ያደርጉት ፕሮፊታቸውንና የነሱን ፍላጎት ብቻ ነው
ስለዚህ ይሄ ሎንግ ተርም ሪሌሽንሺፕ with their customer የሚለው customer handling የሚባለው በዚህ እነዚህ ድርጅቶች ለጊዜው ሊያተርፉ ይችላሉ ለጊዜው የተወሰነ ገንዘብ ሊያጠራቅሙ ይችላሉ but they will not survive for long period of time survivor ምክንያቱም የአንድ ድርጅት successfulness እና failure የሚለካው በደንበኞች አያያዝ ነው ይላል የማርኬቲንግ የጥናት ዘርፍ የሚሰሩ ሰዎች ማለት ነውና ሪሊም ስታዩት ያለ ደንበኛ ማንም ድርጅት ሊኖር አይችልም ያለ ደንበኛ ማለት ስለዚህ ደንበኛን የደንበኛ ተቃውሞ ለምን ይመስላችኋል customer is a king the king never disputed ይባላል ደንበኛ ንጉስ ነው ደንበኛ ንጉስ ነው ንጉስ ሁሉ ጊዜ ትክክል ነው ይባላል እንግዲህ ያው ይሁን አይሁን እሱም በጊዜው የነበሩ ሰዎች እንግዲህ የጻፉት ነገር ነውና ንጉስ ትክክል ነው ንጉስ አይከሰስም ምናምን ይባላልና አንዳንድ እንደዛ ስታስቡት ምን ለማለት ነው ደንበኛ ሁሉ ጊዜ ትክክል ነው ደንበኛ ያለው ነገር መስተካከል መቻል አለበት ነው መስተካከል መቻል አለበት ይሄ ማለት እንግዲህ ደንበኛ ያንድ ድርጅት የጀርባ አጥንት መሆኑ ይታወቃል ምክንያቱም ያለ ደንበኛ ማንንም ድርጅት ጥሩ ነገር የሚያምርትም በጣም የተሻለ ነገር ያምርትም ደንበኛ እስካላገኘ ድረስ ያ ቢዝነስ መቀጠል አይችልም ስለዚህ ሁሉ ጊዜ ፕሮዳክት እና ሰርቪስ ስናቀርብ በደንበኞቻችን ጫማ ውስጥ ሆነን ማየት መቻል አለብን ይሄን ፕሮዳክት ሳመርት እኔ በሆነስ ደንበኛው ለምሳሌ እኛ ሀገር ውስጥ በእንጀራ ውስጥ ጀስዋር በሚሸጣል አይደል ያው መቼም እንትን ቢሆንም በሚዲያ የቀረበ ነገር ነው ይቻላል በሚዲያ የቀረበ ማለት ነው ስለዚህ በዛ ደንበኛ ውስጥ ሆኖ ቢያይ ለምሳሌ እኔ የሚሸጠው ነገር ወይም ሌላ ሰው ይሄን ነገር ቢሸጥልኝ ስለኔ ብሎ ማሰብ መቻል ማለት ነው ስለዚህ when we think of and show of our customer so we may sometimes reduce the rude behavior or the poor quality of the product or the service or we may reduce some customer complaining sources So in this case, as a marketer or as a business organization, we have to put ourselves in place of the customer's shoe. So this is the issues of marketing. So with regard to chapter 6, this is very important topics of the course, business financing. So when we establish a new business, where did you get the money? ለምሳሌ አዲስ ቢዝነስ ብትከፍቱ ያን ገንዘብ ከየት ልታገኙ ትችላላችሁ? እስኪ የሚነግረኝ ቢዝነስ ፋይናንሲንግ እስኪ አዲስ ቢዝነስ ከፈታችሁ since you are taking entrepreneurship course, now you are a potential entrepreneur, so you are going to start either small or medium size business. It requires huge amount of money. So where did you get this money? Can you mention some sources of money? Maybe entrepreneurs get to start their business. Yes.
አንደኛው አማራጭ ባንክ ሊሆን ይችላል።
Okay, bank. Okay. ባንክ ሚለው በጥያቄ ምልክት ያዥውና በኋላ ዲስከስ እናደርግበታለን። ባንክ እሺ። እሺ ኔትወርክ መሰለኝ በማን ተቋረጠ ድምፅሽ? እሺ ሌላ
ኦኬ ፈርስት ከራሳችን ሊሆን ይችላል ማለት previously maybe employee ሆነን ሌላ ቦታ ላይ ሰርተን ሴቭ ያደረግነው የራሳችን ገንዘብ ሊኖረን ይችላል
from my own pocket.
Yeah. Secondly from familyም support ሊያደርገን ይችላል in terms of giftም ሊሆን ይችላል in terms of loanም ሊሆን ይችላል.
Yeah, possible. Relatives,
thirdly,
family relative.
Maybe investor ልናገኝ እንችላለን እኛ አይዲያችንን ስናወጣ በገንዘብ ሰፖርት የሚያደርገን ሰው ሊኖር ይችላል።
Thank you very much. እስኪ ሌላ ተጨማሪ
ሌላ እናገኝ የምንችለው ከፓርትነር ነው።
Partner. If you start share partnership, so you can generate some portion of the money. What about microfinance institution? It could be source of finance, it can be. So generally we can classify the source of finance into two major sources, internal and external sources, internal or external, or in professional terms, the debt finance and equity finance, professional or accounting terms. Debt finance means maybe familiar with what's credit and debit. You may familiar. Accounting ከዚህ በፊት በሆነ አጋጣሚ ወስዶ የሚያውቅ ሰው አለ? accounting course ምናልባት asset is equal to debt plus owner's equity ይላል። ምናልባት እንግዲህ accounting course ወስዳችሁ ከሆነ ማለት ነው። Asset of the organization is financed through the external financiers like bankers, microfinance institution, and there are credit and saving association, and there are different external financiers. And internal, maybe from the entrepreneur himself, from his pocket, from his account, from his relatives in terms of loan, informal loan, from their relatives and so on. And there are investors who provide, working capital for that organization. These investors are known as venture capitalists. Venture capitalist, someone who lend money for the entrepreneur for startup purpose. Or there are also source of finances. So sometimes the entrepreneur may sell some portion of the organization's ownership, selling common stock or preferred stock. So common stock and preferred stock simply source of finance by selling the ownership of the organization for others. So in this case, we'll see the debt sources and the equity sources. So once we get the money, so we have to allocate in different categories of operation for expense purpose, for working capital purpose, for acquisition of building or equipment or acquisition of fixed assets. So in this case, we have to take different forms of finance for different purpose. Asset, it could be fixed asset or planned asset, or it could be current assets. So we have to, allocate the funds for different category of assets. So in this case, we have to allocate the amount of money collected from different sources. So we have been discussing some of the sources, the external source and the internal, or the debt or the equity sources. So once we, acquire the resources or the finance, we have to allocate for permanent capital. Permanent capital. So this permanent capital, there are different permanent assets, machinery, building, land, and so on. We have to invest on these capitals. And some portion of the money should be allocated for working capital. Working capital, the inventory, the cash, account receivable, and so on. We have to allocate some amount of money for working capital. This working capital is important for the generation of an income. So in this case, we'll see the details of each. Allocation or financial requirement as permanent capital investment or working capital, or sometimes the need for expenses. We need expenses for salary purpose, for short-term expenses like miscellaneous expense, for bill, water bill, telephone bill. There are different expenses. So in this case, we have to allocate some amount of money for expense purpose. So in this case, the amount of money collected using that source could be allocated for three purposes. Asset finance, so we have to purchase assets, we have to purchase, car, we have to purchase machineries, we have to purchase fixtures, furniture, equipment, company vehicle, and so on. So this is, some tangible assets. We have to purchase tangible asset. That asset, generate an income for the company. Working capital, this is responsible for the overall operation of the business, overall operation. So in this case, we have to allocate in these three categories: capital asset, capital items, and for working capital as well as for assets. So once we allocate for this, so we can start our operation. In this case, we need a little bit detailed discussion about the source of finance. So when we, the source of finance is either equity finance or debt finance. So we have to make optimal mixture or optimal mixes of finance, optimal. So how much money we have to borrow and how much money we have to raise as an internal asset. So the optimal, if it is 50-50, it could be advantageous for the company. Advantageous if it is 50-50. If you take 50%, but the optimal is 25-70. If you purchase or if you take or if you finance your business by taking 25% loan and 75% equity, so which is the most risky-less operation or mix? Risky-less or less risky? Since if you borrow 25%, so the interest paid for 25% portion of the asset could be 25%. So the profit generated from the business taken by externals only 25%, and 75% of the profit remain. So in this case, what's the appropriate mix? So that could be 25-75. If that's not working, so you can extend to 50-50%. So any question with regard to the previous discussion? Since we'll continue with this topic next week. Next session.
አሴት ፋይናንስ ላይ ማለት ነው።
አሴት ፋይናንስ አሁን ለምሳሌ ለድርጅቱ የምናገኘው ለድርጅቱ ወይም የድርጅቱን አሴት የምንገዛው በሁለት መንገድ ነው። ወይም የድርጅቱን አጠቃላይ ሀብት የምናገኘው ከሁለት ምንጭ ነው ይላል። ከሁለት ምንጭ ማለት ይሄ ከብድር ወይም ይሄ ምንድነው ዴት ፋይናንስ ይባላል። በሌሎች የሚደገፍና በድርጅቱ በራሱ ከዛ ውስጥ የምንገዛበት ፐርማነንት ካፒታል የምንላቸው ይሄ ለኤክስፓንሽን ፐርፐዝ ለዲቨሎፕመንት ፐርፐዝ ለምን የምንገዛቸው ትልልቅ አሴቶችን መሬቶች ሊሆን ይችላል እንደሰው ፐርማነንት ካፒታል እንላቸው ቋሚ ካፒታል የምንላቸው ወርኪንግ ካፒታል የምንላቸው ደግሞ ለመስሪያ የምንላቸው ለኢንቨንተሪ ሊሆን ይችላል ሮ ማቴሪያል ሊሆን ይችላል የተለያዩ ነገሮችን የስራ ማስኬጃ የምንለው ወርኪንግ ካፒታል። ከዛ ውጭ ደግሞ አሴት ፋይናንስ ማለት ለድርጅቱ ለስራ የሚያስፈልጉ ንብረቶችን መግዛት መቻል አለብን። መኪና መግዛት አለብን፣ ማሽነሪ መግዛት አለብን። ለስራ ማስኬጃ የሚሆኑ አሴት የምንላቸው አሴት ፋይናንስ ለምሳሌ መኪና መግዛት ይኖርብናል። ቬሂክል ኢኩዊፕመንት ማሽነሪ የምንላቸው ነገሮች ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ የተሰጠንን ገንዘብ ከሶስት ቦታ ላይ እንከፍለዋለን ማለት ነው። ወይም ለድርጅቱ የስራ ማስኬጃ ብለን በብድርም በራሳችን ያጠራቀምነው ገንዘብ በሶስት ነገር እንከፍለዋለን ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ አሴት ፋይናንስ ማለት እነዚህ ቋሚ ንብረት የምንላቸው ማለት ነው። ማሽነሪ መኪና ምናምን የምንላቸው
ልዩነት መፍጠር ዓላማችን ነው። ዓለም አቀፍ ተወዳዳሪ መሆን አለባችሁ። የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ ጥራትና ደረጃውን የጠበቀ ስልጠና በመስጠት ብቁ ዜጋ እያፈራን ነው። በፍላይት ኦፕሬሽን፣ በበረራ መስተንግዶ፣ በቲኬቲንግና ሪዘርቬሽን፣ በሆቴልና ቱሪዝም ሙያዎች አሰልጥነን ተወዳዳሪ እናደርጎታለን። ኮሌጃችን ካናዳ ከሚገኘው ኢንተርናሽናል ኤር ትራንስፖርት አሶሲዬሽን አያታና ከእንግሊዙ ICM ጋር በመተባበር ዓለም አቀፍ እውቅና ያለው ስልጠና እየሰጠ ይገኛል። በፍላይት ኦፕሬሽን፣ በበረራ መስተንግዶ የምንሰጣቸው ስልጠና ከኢትዮጵያ ሲቪል አቪዬሽን ባለስልጣን ሙሉ እውቅና አለው። አድራሻ ከጎላጉል ታወር 22 አደባባይ ወደ ሾላ በሚወስደው መንገድ ላይ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ ህልሞን እውን ያደርጋል።